I'm just going to show you the difference putting it in with a normal zip foot. So obviously we've pinned it, so as I've just been over, it's right sides together. So it's sitting like that at the bottom. The main thing is that it's not joined, it's open. So it doesn't matter which side you sew. If I'm sewing this side, then I need to move my needle position over as far as you can. Now when you're using a normal zip foot, I suggest you unfold this on the iron so that the tape lays flatter. I haven't done it on this case, but you can see how that unfolds, so they come curled up. The concealed zip foot stands at 90 degrees. When you're doing it on the normal zip foot, you want to unfold it flat. The zip foot's just going to get nearish. You mustn't sew on the nylon teeth, it is a bit more tricky. You're still going to find it stands up, but by ironing it flat it just helps it to stand up at that 90 degrees. So just the same, you just want to sew it, and you can see it's at 90 degrees, but just the way that the zip foot works, it's not as tight. So you can sew it twice, or you can try and fold it over. You'll probably find it easier to sew it twice, so sew it with it at 90 degrees first. Get as near as you can, but it won't be as good as the concealed zip foot. But if you haven't got a concealed zip foot, it just means that you can put it in. Some people prefer using the normal zip foot. You can see again, you can't get as near, it starts moving out the way. You don't want to do that, so as soon as it nudges it out the way, just reverse and stop. You can see the concealed zip foot managed to sew it down a bit further, not much further. So I've sewn this one, but it's not, if I write on here, this is standard foot, and then if I write on this one, this is concealed foot, you'll be able to see the difference. That's just sewing it once. Okay, then we do the zip up without catching it. They do have a tendency to catch the fabric, and you can see the one I haven't got anywhere near. Look at all the zip tape that's showing with the normal zip foot compared to this concealed one. You can have another go at sewing it in and see if you can get closer. Remember, you're always working on that flat fabric, so no fabric should be folded. You can then, once you've sewn it in once, it's sort of secure and you can get in a bit closer maybe, but what you don't want to do is stitch on that actual teeth, because then you won't be able to do the zip up, and also health and safety, you need to be very careful. But I am getting it over, look, just by folding it with my fingers, I'm getting it over a little bit further, and because I've already stitched it once, I've got a couple of millimetres further over. You can see there the second, oh you can't see the second row. Okay, it's coming in better. So that's what I would do if I didn't have a concealed zip foot. You need, even if you've got a concealed zip foot, you still need the normal zip foot to join your skirt together, your garment together, skirt or trousers. Once you've got that attached, you need to then do the zip up, obviously trim all your loose threads. Okay, and then you're going to put right sides together on your skirt and lay them flat against each other, lining up the raw edges. Well, they won't be raw because they'll be seam neatened, but the raw edges seam neatened. Pull the tail of the zip out the way, and you're going to, as near as you can, join the two together. So you can see where you've managed to stitch to the zip, but you want to then just get that in as near as you can. But the most important thing is making sure that the edges are lined up with each other. Okay, and then you will join the skirt backwards and forwards. If you want, you can do that all the way down that seam. Remember, you need that seam allowance. Because the needle position's over to the right, you won't be able to line it up with the 1.5 centimetre seam allowance on the plate, because it's over to the right a bit. So chalk line your seam allowance in so you do it in the right place, or once you've joined past that, the bottom of the zip, once that's out the way, what you can do is just change the feet just to the normal foot. like that. Move your needle position back to the centre, and then you can continue sewing the rest of your seam down to the hem or wherever it is on your garment, and then you've got that seam allowance joined there. So then we can see that we've got our concealed zip put in, and once I sewed that a second time, you can see that actually they're pretty equal on both sides. So this side was putting it in with the concealed zip foot, and that's with the standard foot, and then you have to make sure it's level at the tops and that you don't have any puckering at the bottom. It doesn't always go right in. People question that it is a slight little pleat, but when you take that to the iron, that will be absolutely fine. There's no actual pleat and puckering, and that's how you put your concealed zip foot in.